just to kind of give you a background, I'm actually from a business development background, but well before that, like Brett had mentioned this morning, I never used to like wearing ties because I was a software developer, and worked on, you've probably heard the Grand Theft Auto. I worked on the first 3 of them, Lemons and Body Harvest. So I come from a software development background and managed to slip myself into open data through business development because in my CV I worked on a number of server support, so I thought Alan knows about IT, so we'll throw him in. He'll be able to figure out what goes on open data. So that's just a little bit about me, and one of the projects I'm working on, as was covered this morning, was the 8th city, and I'm from Dundee, which is here. Okay, so I'll skip through that and talk maybe a little bit more about how we come to it from Dundee. Stephen might have mentioned this morning some of the past cases about what was happening. A number of years ago, it was agreed that we would start to kind of self-assess where we are to do with data. So we followed the PAS 101 Smart Cities Maturity Model. So I actually took this into a number of the different departments, because I think we'd spoke just a moment ago with Eddie about how do you actually do that. And a lot of people just didn't really know what open data was, how you publish it, even though we do publish around about, I think it's 3,000 documents on our website at the moment. So we went through the maturity model to try and find out where we were. And we've actually marked ourselves about 1 or 2, which was generally ad hoc or opportunistic. But the vision was to try and use technology to create a sustainable economy. So looking at smart people, places, travel and smart communities, and we came up with a number of projects through the Smart Cities project, which is a £10 million funded project, to try and get us there. So we actually we've set up a little bit of governance, because I think that was quite important, and it was mentioned as well that if you don't have buy-in at the top, you're going to struggle. So we have set up through the Scottish Cities Alliance and then through ourselves as a council, a digital oversight board that basically helps manage the project and actually pushes us through, because otherwise when we go out to all the different departments, they would say, but don't know what you're talking about, we're not really too keen on engaging. So hopefully we will get a little bit of engagement, because our chief exec signed up to the leadership group at the Scottish Cities Alliance, and our head of IT also helps run the oversight board in the Smart City programme group within. So there's a bit of governance here to push the project through it. And where do we sit? We've got 4 projects working within this. We kind of covered the Dundee sitting in the data cluster this morning, but we'll also sit on a couple of other ones. We're doing smart services mobility, so we actually have, I think, the highest percentage of electronic low carbon cars. We've got a full fleet of electronic taxis in the city, so we're quite ahead of the game when it comes to some of our smart mobility services. And one of the projects that we're looking to do is mobility as a service, and getting a number of players on board. And we've had a few kind of private investors like Stagecoach, which are here, and a number of other companies that are looking to do that within city. We're also doing a smart waste project, not just looking at smart bins and compression bins, but we've actually been looking at trying to reroute how we deliver by giving units to the actual guys out on the street, so they can be more dynamic and actually reroute on the fly and such like. So that's where we're going with that. And smart services, public security, we have a number of CCTV cameras, so now we're going to be upgrading them to IP cameras. So that's the likes of the bridge coming into Dundee. We have, as the biggest landlord, we've got a number of different sites with which we look after. So it's really just trying to use smart and intelligent ways to gain and make better insights through the assets that we own through public safety. Just to give you an idea of the scope, in Dundee we're looking at the project of being around about £3 million mark. We match 60% with the 40% for the ERDF, which has probably been mentioned. And Stephen's covered the data project quite well. I've talked a little bit about what we're doing in mobility, public safety. I've talked about modernising our public safety cameras, but one of the big things that we're trying to do is collaborate, and as a part of that collaboration we'll be working with the police, our neighbourhood services, and also public space. CCTV is another area with which we're looking to cover. And as I've said, we're also trying to federate the data up across the other cities. So it's really one of the most useful things that I've found is actually getting the departments within our city to speak to the equivalent departments within other city on how they're actually managing their operations. That's been a real bonus. And as the programme goes along, I'm hopeful that when we start to, well, there's obviously a debate about how you standardise the information and the way you collect that information. Hopefully that we will be able to get insights or investment opportunities across the number of cities. So I think that's where we're aiming. But I could speak a little bit more in our workshop and discussion. But that's just a whistle-stop tour of where we're sitting at Dundee. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much.